Welcome back, everybody, to another beautiful day of Dota 2 in the Eastern European DPC. Hope you all had a great weekend or a long weekend, depending on where you are. And Waga, we're going to start things off with VP against UALEIKUMNIHAO. An important one for VP, as they're currently sat at 4 series. They've defeated who they're meant to, kinda. They've lost against the bigger teams. This one is going to be the series that kind of sets them on that track to staying in Div 1.
Yeah, and similarly, I think UALEIKUMNIHAO, they already are looking pretty sad here. They have lost every single matchup, that they've had so far, pretty much, and it's going to be tough for them. Even if they win here, I think they're kind of relying on tiebreakers, if I'm not wrong. But they're in a bad spot basically right now. But claiming a win here, every single game matters still for them. They're not out by any means, but they do need to perform in this matchup here.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 series losses is usually that cutoff point from staying in Div 1 and being relegated. So they'd need to win all their remaining series and kind of rely on tiebreakers or some magical situation to emerge. But yeah, they're definitely an entertaining team, though. Taking games off of some of the bigger squads, not looking, they've not looked atrocious coming up from Div 2 by any means. Taking game of Spirit and 9 Pandas. They did lose 2-0 to One Move, Hydra, and Amiga. But in all those series, they put up a fight. Their drafting looks solid. Often it comes down to not necessarily individual mistakes, but team moves that don't work out, and the games kind of spiral from this. One sweeping move where I remember vividly one game they came into mid lane with their carry Bloodseeker 6-7 minutes in. They didn't win the fight, they didn't push the tower, and things got rough from there. So if they tidy things up, they could look real good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I look at it and see that they're actually sitting at 0-5 now, it hasn't felt like that kind of performance. It felt like they have, been more competitive, but definitely their record is not the greatest right now. But we know they have the potential, especially what you said. The individual plays are good, but sometimes it's not orchestrated in the correct way. And at this level, teams are just very prepared for the moves you're going to make. And if you run into a trap, it can punish you hard. So we'll see here what VP are going to do up against them. Of course, going up against UALEIKUMNIHAO, they're a rather aggressive team, I would say. So yeah. VP banning out that Bloodseeker. They also removed Enigma. And UALEIKUMNIHAO, they're removing out the Beastmaster and the Spirit Breaker, a hero that they themselves respect a lot and play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, these key heroes really are emerging in the Eastern European division. 1, 2, 3, and Doombringer, the first pickup, a hero that, over the past 2 or 3 years has just been so predominant. He creates money with his Devour, looks strong in lane, and he offers you that individual target deletion with the Doom. Has looked, a little bit shaky recently with teams maybe figuring out how to play against it. But VP coming out here with a really strong duo with that Storm Pugner and Puck to answer the Storm.
Yeah, that's just a very nice reaction, and doesn't look like the most fun game to play Storm into, both Doom and Puck, but he does have that Pugner combo, which we've seen time and time again, how potent that is. If you don't remove any of the pieces for that one, and the opponents have the chance to go for the 1-2 combo on the second pick, very often teams go for it. VP happily gonna take that, and Squadic's gonna be completely steroided up by this Pugner. It is actually crazy how potent this 1-2 is. I do want to say as well on Doom, it's almost been like more about his lane domination that I've seen now. A lot of teams even skipping a few points in Devour early on just to go for 0-2-1 and bully the lane. If you're a melee carry against that, it's horrendous. It's so hard to go up in lane against. So that's why we see here they ban out the TB, more of a semi-ranged carry with the Metamorphosis in laning stage. But a lot of things that have to get close to Doom, they just take so much harass damage from it.
Yeah, it's really, really irritating. Like, you pair him with any kind of range position 4, we've seen his Miranas, Snaps, whatever, and Chantress just charge at people and be very, very irritating. But yeah, I mean, looking into the second stage of picks, we've already got 2 cores picked here by UALEIKUM. The Storm, of course, going to be your mid laner 9 times out of 10. Where do we head into that second phase of picks as they start to cover some of these nasty bans?
Yeah, I think UALEIKUM, what they're doing now is trying to set themselves up to have a lane on their Doom. When you pick this hero this early, I mean, he's very strong, very potent, but they're setting it up by banning out the TB and also banning out the Undying so that you get value out of this hero. Because sometimes we see Dooms just really not come online, even though this hero is, I believe, still 100% pick ban rate here in the DPC. I'm not sure, I have to go back and check that. At least last time we were casting, I don't know if Ares and Danog had Doom slip through it all. But at 29 games played, at least, he was 29 games contested. But you can sometimes see him get shut down if you have correct lanes, and that's what I think they're addressing now. Remove that Undying. It's a hero we've seen time and time again just take over lanes, and if you don't get into the game in a nice way, doesn't matter how strong your hero is, you're not going to be able to dictate the pace. If you get a 9-minute Vanguard or something, you're just out. You're doing nothing.
Yeah, it's like even these Ursa Monkey King kind of heroes, you mentioned, right, that you're a melee hero in this lane, even though theoretically you've got ways to deal with an opposing mid lane offlaner. An opposing offlaner. Don't know why I added mid lane in there. But you're meant to be the one bullying and you just get bullied back super heavily. Add in a round of magic damage there and you can't reach the creep wave. It gets really, really, really irritating.
Yeah. Interestingly, Aleikum go for the ban out on the Anti-Mage. It's actually something we've seen a few times, I feel. The Pugna Storm and then pick the AM on the third pick after the ban phase. Kind of protecting yourself from the AM pick, but also plays kind of nice with Storm. You jump in with Storm, pull someone, AM can follow through. Like, the two heroes, in a weird way, kind of work together. Also would be annoying for them to lane against. Again, Doom, a lot of magic damage in the laning stage, and even though Puck can lock down AM to a degree, you also only have magic damage.
Yeah, well, we'll see where they head. I mean, usually we've been seeing Bekshan on these very aggressive position 4s. So I'm wondering what they're going to grab up for him here with Spirit Breaker gone. Does still have his Bounty Hunter and things like that. We've had his Clockwork, his Treant, his Earth Spirit, all these tanky melee people that walk up into the front lines and get aggressive. I'll see what they actually grab for him there. I would
be expecting him to take maybe something ranged here since you have Doom. Maybe the Clinks could even come out. I've been wanting to see it. Bekshan has been practicing it in his pubs, I know it. And if you're going to pair up the Clinks with anything, Doom is a great one. Because you need a melee hero, someone big and tanky to go in. And Clinks, it doesn't have very strong laning stage, but Doom does. And that allows you to kind of get into the game. Now though, with the techies on the enemy team, there is the downside that you would be running over mines and you can be revealed. Instead, it's just going to be the Rubik.
Yeah, instant lift against the Storm. Decent way there to lane with the Doom, like you said. Yeah, it's a good point, just to have a ranged hero with the Doom zap away at people. That then not only pressures you in the draft to, what do we pick?
Yeah, this looks terrible for Storm, honestly. I mean, yeah, you have Pugna, but Doom, Puck, Disruptor, Rubik, how many counters can one man stand, before the hero starts falling apart? If any team has the tools to shut down a Storm, this team has it, The instant lift, like you mentioned, there is a huge component to being able to catch him when he starts zipping in and doing stuff. And even if he goes for a BKB in this game, he will have to be very, very preemptive with it. And Kaya-san's probably going to be more likely, super good against Doom and all this lockdown. VP though, they go back for an Alchemist. They say, okay, we're laning into Doom Rubik. It's going to be, a pretty aggressive lane, quite a bit of damage. But on the other hand, he has, Pugna or potentially techies if they want to put him safe lane. Pairing up with him, he can do. They can do a lot of protecting here, and Alchemist should be able to farm up.
It feels like a situation where Squadix, like you say, right? Squadix is like, I'm straight up not going to have a good time. Pick me something that can carry 1v9 or something. Could still be flexible. We've seen a fair amount of offlane Alch, but likely just going to be curated just hero to farm things up alongside that techies or Pugna. Yeah, things are open here for VP in terms of where they want to be putting their heroes in which lanes. But I think FNG has been the primary techies player for them from that position 5. Pugna more likely the 4 from the way sort of looking back at VP's other games. Yeah. But going into the last round, we need an offlaner for VP and a carry for Palantimos over on UALEIKUMNIHAO.
It's funny because offlane and carry are really two very similar roles in the current patch. Like, there's been a massive shift overall in the level of greed that you have on offlaners. And very many games we have here, both in DPC and in high-level ranked games nowadays, you have offlaners just farming just as much as the carry and being hyper greedy. And that's where we might see that as well here with VP, like you mentioned. It could be an offlane alchemist. You don't even have to really go stun gun. You can just kind of build up. You go a little bit tankier items, perhaps. You don't necessarily go Radiance first, but you can go for, you know, a Vanguard and build up a little bit into it if you want. But we'll see here what UALEIKUM are thinking that VP need. Depend out the Magnus. Lifestealer ban return by VP would have been an annoying hero here for them. The Infest bombs with Puck, very strong at ganking and shutting down any strong core.
Yeah, I guess they're looking at Noticed's hero pool, which it isn't that diverse from what he's played in 2 or 3. Most of the heroes already banned. Timbersaw, probably the one that I'd mention as one that he's looked very comfortable on. Not sure how it looks this game, because probably has similar difficulties to the Storm, right? Against Doom, Puck, Disruptor. Playing Timber into that might not feel so good.
No, it's a horrendous game for that. But Batrider would fit better. Just a strong hero overall. They pan it out here, UALEIKUM. It's a hero that pretty much every offlaner has to be able to play, at least in the current patch. And still a great option to throw that mid in some games.
Even something like the Tide Hunter, you know, often against this Disruptor, you just feel really bad. Get static stormed, can't cast your ulti or anything.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Glimpse is also good against him, right? So you can pull him back.
Yeah, they might just shift Alk into the offlane, pick something new for Kiritech. We'll see what that's going to be. And, I don't know, another respect ban against Palantimos. They've already got rid of his Bloodseeker in the first phase, Lifestealer in the last.
Team pick.
Monkey King. Okay.
Kind of signaling that could be that Alchemist on the offlane again. You know, when you ban out this hero, at least feels like they're going to throw some for a melee hero that doesn't want to pair up into the Monkey here. But also soft signals that, you know, some hero that shuts down similar stuff could be good. They're going to go with Sven here. So I like the way UALEIKUM have drafted this, honestly. Sven rounds out their draft in a pretty nice way. Get a bit of movement speed for everyone. You get more lockdown, which you can never have too much when you're playing against the Spirit hero. And it's a nice carry. If it's going to be a carry Alchemist, then it's a nice carry as well against that. Giving the armor, protecting against Alchemist Acid Spray. And you have good burst damage as well. I really think this was a great last pick for them.
This looks like a Team Spirit draft, like in all honesty.
Kind of
does. You know, Collapse Doom, lol mid Puck, Disruptor Ruvik, and a Sven there. I mean, I guess it's the Sven that really, you know, flagged in my brain. Wait a second, we've seen this from someone before. Yatra has been pulling it out from time to time. Yeah, the Yatra Sven. Yeah, looks very good. They're going to be able to play aggressively as they've, you know, shown through 2 or 3. That's their identity really, is just getting up in the faces of their opponents. Plenty of disables, loads of team fight. The ability to have that backup farm through the Sven, and they do still go for the Timbersaw in that last pick. Like I was saying, Noticed hero pool not too wide, so they go for something comfortable, but like you've been saying, it's still a difficult game for Timber when you're looking at the overwhelming control that UALEIKUMNIHAO has.
Yeah, it became a little bit better with the Sven pick, and that's also where, you know, they banned Monkey, signaling that something like this could be coming. They picked the Sven, which doesn't really shut down the same thing as Monkey does. If had they gone for something like Ursa, I think they could have forced them to pick something other than the Timber. And then the question is, what would Notice really have gone for? But I think the Sven fits so well in the draft overall, even if the lane might not be perfect for them. We've seen tough laning stages for Sven and him coming back, right? We saw Yatoro just disappear into the jungle, farm for a very long time. And then when he did join, boy, did he join in a big way. Those crits in the late game could destroy anything here still.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. He's one of those heroes that can keep up in terms of farm with someone like an Alchemist, but he's also very adept at... I mean, he basically is an Alchemist, right? He's a flash farmer with a stun. He's a strength hero that can bully people out, go farm some stacks, and pop out and team fight with the rest of the squad if need be.
Yeah, just a way higher ceiling for Sven. Like, his power ceiling is way above that of Alchemist, so Alchemist comes online a little bit faster. But Sven, he will always win out those big late game fights, in my opinion. But we'll see how it plays out here and how much pressure they can put on Sven for VP. I think shutting him down is going to be crucial to their success. Whereas UALEIKUMNIHAO, it's all about squadics, honestly. Does this Storm with Pugna take over the game?
Well, we'll find out. Game 1 coming your way, but first a quick video from EGB.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
And off we go, heading into this best of 3, first one of the day. As we've got a couple of series for you in Eastern Europe. And we can pop into things, as it looks like UALEIKUMNIHAO going to be smoking out, prepping themselves, maybe looking for an early fight. Definitely getting some wards down. VP, a slower start, wandering out there, not really rushing into anything.
Yeah, they're just kind of walking on high grounds in general now and checking some, get one ward down on the top spot here. To see rotations coming in towards the mid lane. This is very common when you play a Storm or any other like vulnerable hero on the mid lane that you don't want to have shut down. You get some ward towards the enemy off lane, so you can see that rotation.
Yeah, make sure no one's coming around the corner for you. Probably would be the Disruptor then. So the Vexion's on Disruptor, Mary playing the Rubik. There's going to be Disruptor Doom as the lane instead of Rubik Doom.
Yeah, I guess it will be. Which is probably fine. I mean, Disruptor can do a lot of damage together with the Doom. That's usually what you care about, having good nukes. And I think Disruptor could play in that lane pretty well, whereas Sven, Rubik can pair up a little bit nicer.
Does Rubik also trade better with the Pugna?
I mean, sort of. Not by a huge margin. It's pretty similar, to be honest, but he does okay. Like the upside with Disruptor is that he has a bit better attack range overall, but Rubik kind of hits nicer, like faster. So you can pop in and out from tree lines as Rubik can auto attack more easily, I feel.
Just launch your projectiles at them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the attack point and the attack speed of the heroes. Rubik is nicer for those quick harasses.
In the mid lane, both getting their first CS, no problems. First deny, going to be there for Squadex. Storm against Puck, just going to be trading out, pushing waves, looking towards their early bottles. Up in that top lane, Kiritich already with that concoction up, chucking it at Sugarat. FNG with the sticky bombs, just trying to zone Disruptor away, but looks like it's not going to connect. A little bit of lane dragging there by the Doom, just to move things a little further away, while FNG will block up the large camp, make sure there's no pulls coming.
Yeah, so far doing a good job on the Disruptor to try and oppress the techies here in this lane. Usually a hero that can easily run away with the laning stage if he is allowed to just continuously auto attack, but Vexan very preemptive here, just going on the techies before he can really do any damage to the Doom or himself.
And pretty important to unlock that large camp again. Alchemist feels very comfortable under his tower. Got tons of armor and regen, is farming away. And once these Scorched Earth levels start coming in for the Doom, I could see them just run at them. Glimpse them back into Scorched Earth, Infernal Blades. I'm definitely curious to see if he goes for that 0-2-1 build you were talking about.
Yeah, no point devour yet. We'll see what he decides to skill up here. Is he holding it? Makes me feel like he's gonna go for the E, but he does go over and find himself the movement speed creep. So that's obviously a great one to take. Takes that 12% movement speed aura. So devour level 2 it is.
Okie dokie. And down at bottom, Palantimos and Mary done a pretty good job moving Noticed around. Got him down to like half HP. Sayers trading blows, nearly sniping the courier. That's a very back and forth lane, like poking and prodding, throwing stuns and whirling deaths. And both these supports very good at burning through early regen. So we'll need to see here these magic sticks come up, more tangos and salves come out. As Sayers takes a tower hit, just trying to scout in behind.
Yeah.
Who's over the trees.
He finds out about the ward as well when he did that. You can check, similar to mid lane, you can check during the nighttime at the start of the game. You can check if it's warded. You can actually check if the enemy has a ward bottom on that cliff by walking into a tree line. So he should have realized that he was attacking Fog War there.
Clever.
He may not have gone for a D ward though, because he had a creep chasing him. So now swaps in the center ward, goes for the cliff, but Mary is on his heels. He wants to chase him.
Yeah, blocks up the small camp with his body. Bounty rune going to be grabbed, so Pugna getting a lot done. Lots of little tasks, all the chores on his to-do list today. being completed. And he can still go and sentry up that high ground. And should get the D ward. While he's doing that, you know, they do get a bit of damage on unnoticed, but he's giving as good as he takes. Oh, top lane, blast off into the first blood. Kiritich there actually takes the last hit.
Yeah, very nice start for Alchemists, getting top CS so far and also getting that kill. Has 2 points Acid Spray and Unstable Concoction. It's just a lot of kill potential, and they didn't use any of their blood grenades as well. They had 2 blood grenades available to really secure the kill there.
And they go in on this Alk now, but under the Acid Spray, the Doom taking a lot of damage, and FNG is going to try and make him pay for it. Glimpse across, Kiritich still alive with a Fairy Fire, now the boots from the backpack into the inventory, throws the stun at the Doom, still dies. And Shogun, yeah, he was trapped down on the low ground into the water there, but FNG in a 1v2 couldn't really continue. Blast off connects, his dead body collapses on the Disruptor, dies to the Thunderstrike mid-air.
Yeah, still perfect there for Shogun. Just going to be very happy with the job of his support, as sure, Bakshan got the kills, but this gives a little bit of time here for Shogun to keep the lane, pull it back. I really like the way the Kiritich was trying to play that though. He sat under his Acid Spray and, you know, kind of asked the Doom the question, are you going to come in? Are you going to hit me under the Acid Spray? Or
yeah.
Are you going to just let me be?
Yeah, it was really nicely done. Yeah, but in the end, 700 gold saved up on the Dooms, so closing in on that Vanguard. Alchemist does come back out to lane with the full treads. They're definitely going to be packing a punch. I'll see FNG. Let's try and pull the lane back with a large camp pull. Mid lane, that's going as expected, right?
Yeah, I think so far this is pretty much what you would expect from the lane. Very close CS, but Storm starting to pull ahead a little bit, using the jungle now and going for this bounty rune. It's all very stock standard what's happening here. No one really managing to get too much of an edge. No big mistakes, really.
And then 6-minute power rune, and we're going to see supports come in to help them out.
I mean, they should. Already we see Mary is starting to make his move over, and is already 40 seconds to go as well, so maybe he's looking for an early ward plant or a D-ward to try and get a kill.
Yeah, it looked like Serish was doing the same thing. Hogner comes across with a ward, heads back to lane though. That's going to leave Rubik in position here. Like you say, 20 seconds still early on for that rune guarding. And from the top lane, looks like Bakshan's going to wander back and stack some camps. Ancient and large camp already a couple of times built up. FNG's techies heading to the rune instead. No. And the coil. Snaps. Blood grenade down. Lift up. Blast off's good. And Squad X can turn and fight this. Pops his wand and zips over the top. Mary in trouble as they killed off Chira Jr. They brought them all in. Both supports from both sides, but the Dire get the advantage.
Yeah, Mary had no way out there, even though he walked a little bit under tower. Wouldn't matter what he did there. Storm living with that much mana available, he was gonna die no matter what. And the gank just failed for them. They had some vision, but they didn't respect the counter gank potential there.
And maybe a question asked of the Disruptor, you know, where were you? I was stacking camps.
That's the issue. If you stack Ancients and Big Camp, you're too late for the rune control, really. Like, it kind of works out timing-wise. You need to hit the Ancients on 53, the other camp on 55, and then start running. But that means that you're not going to be down by the rune spawn until, like, 1 or 2 seconds after. If you don't have, you know, too high of a movement speed as a support getting down there. And that's just not in time. So he did protest stacking. Sven is going to be happy for that later on, but right now his puck is crying. This makes the big first difference here on mid lane, where they were very even, but now Storm getting those kills, getting access to a shield rune as well, which is going to help him gank or stay alive for future ganks.
Oh yeah, absolutely will. And yeah, also the fact that the fight wasn't at the rune spot; it was in the mid lane proper. Now looking at the puck, 14 one charges and a Fairy Fire was unused, it looks like, during that fight. Yeah. Maybe could have given them the edge to swing it, but...
I think it was dead anyway. The thing is, he committed, right? They coiled, they went in, Waning Rift and Lucifer Orb, so he didn't have Orb yet to try and get out of that situation. And then you might as well keep your Magic Wand and your Fairy Fire if you're dead by rights anyway. It's actually a big pet peeve I have when people waste Magic Wand charges if they're guaranteed to die and they can't get some value out of it. I don't think they were killing Storm no matter what, and he wasn't going to live. So now at least he keeps those 14 charges, and that actually makes a big impact for future fights, going in with 14 or 0 charges into a fight.
Yeah, you compare that to the Storm. Just go around again. Have another fight. At what point does the Sven in this bottom lane give up? Because Timbersaw's closing in on 6, and that often feels like the tipping point.
It's basically Chakram, yeah. You can farm the lane until Chakram is up, and honestly, even this farm up until Chakram, Noticed has done a good job being aggressive onto the Sven, running at him and slapping him whenever he comes close for CS. So Sven is losing some HP here. He wants level 3 on the Great Cleave so he can jungle. 80% instead of 60% cleave really makes it faster to jungle. You don't have to spread out your hits as much, and everything kind of dies at the same time. But it's not easy for him to get there. He will get level 5 before the level 6 comes online by Noticed here if he stays, but we might see him go jungle already.
But I always forget Great Cleave gives you strength bonus as well.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that was a 733 change, and I'm still not used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 points per level, basically.
Oh, you're leveling stats,
pretty
basically.
helpful.
Yeah, scaling up a stat point.
That's great. That'll help him jungle too.
I mean, strength on Sven is really useful because then you get that bonus damage on the ulti. God's damage, Sven's ulti. No longer gives you strength. Gives you a bit of extra, you know.
A bit of firepower.
I mean, that means if you compare it to before, you have 24 more damage with level 3 ulti and maxed out cleave than you previously had before 733 because of that 8 strength, and then you get 200% bonus on that 8 strength. So everything adds up, right?
Yeah, it does. Especially if you're adding in, Echo Sabers and crits and stuff like that. Every little bit of damage can tip an enemy over the edge. I guess we'll see what we usually see on this Sven, right? The Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, Blink BKB kind of deal.
Yes.
Just try and build yourself up to like 3 items and go.
Harpoon is pretty common to go sometime after as well. You can go for Harpoon, possibly before Blink. Depends on how much you value that jump. If you already have Puck in the team, maybe you can rely on him to jump in first and you Harpoon people out of the coil. You can snap it. There's gamer potential there. But we'll see exactly what it goes for. Obviously, having both Harpoon and Blink is very nice as well.
Yeah, while Sven's going for those kind of little build-up items, all the small components. Now, of course, Alchemist has his Radiance queued up, needs to be saving up for the Relic. Needs a fair amount of time to get there. But so far, this Alchemist, with just that one death in that scrappy fight up top, seems reasonably comfortable. They've not built up too many stacks for him, I don't believe, though, on this dire side. So something for F&G to start looking towards. Get some ancient camps and large camps going for him. But I guess there's that period of, 8 to 12 minutes where he doesn't go to the right side of the map. He just goes to that top line of camps, right? All the small and medium camps to clear them first.
Quite usual, yeah. The top line is pretty sweet to just farm like left to right or right to left and then go somewhere else immediately after from there. And then you can come back, rinse, repeat. It's good farming grounds for Alchemist. Basically Vinland. Nobody ganks you there. The pastures are green. Everything is nice. But yeah, so far Alchemist having a good start into this game. 3.5k net worth is definitely where you want to be. Well ahead of the Sven on the enemy team. You can get a message here from the admins that they can have 5 minutes left of pause, but that doesn't matter, I think, because they immediately reconnect the disruptor now.
The admin speaks and the player reconnects.
It's good. She has said something earlier.
He asked reason. I'm not sure they said anything. Well, we do get ourselves back into the game. Sugar, I'm gonna go grab a Lotus. He seems like he's untouchable right now. The Vanguard, 11-1 charges, a Lotus. Maybe try and poke at him, but you're probably not going to boot him out of the lane. As it looks like the puck just indicating Storm has left the lane and might be heading up to top. A shield rune there for Squadix. A couple of bottle charges left. But his primary goal is going to be farming out these jungle camps. As they do rotate Mary up here through the Twin Gate, but that's scouted by the Observer Ward. Immediately dewarded.
Yeah,
this is going to feel pretty good for VP.
This is going to be a time to start thinking about jungling as Alchemist. You don't want to stay in this lane when Doom hits level 6, and that's going to be very soon. 1 for 1 on the Wisdom runes, by the way, as Sayu and Bekshan both claim that. There's no difference. And the play looks to be top here for Aleikum. They realize, gotta go towards that Alchemist, who stacked up for himself a little bit here. Just made a nice medium camp stack here, and gets Mud Golems rewards.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see when you're Alchemist.
Lovely little Mud Golems. Oh, I guess the Occult Bracelet as well. I swear, that tier 1 neutral item is pretty damn strong every time.
It's crazy.
I get the choice. I'm grabbing that.
Yeah, it's almost always the take for me as well. It's fantastic. A lot of heroes. It's, I mean, 10% magic res and 4 tall stats, and it fixes your mana. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Universal heroes obviously take it just for the all stats. That's already like, okay. It's pig pull, but better. Because of the magic
It does
res.
everything. That's pretty damn good. And Kiritich dropping low, but hits level 6. Gets the Chemical Rage out. The camp respawns as he turns around and runs back to lane while up at the top rune spot. Techies is grabbed up by the Rubik and the Puck. Gets the taser off, but a blood grenade and ooh, the final hit missing uphill. The second blood grenade. Is he surviving?
Wow.
He's alive.
And that's why early tango when you're skirmishing. FNG was ahead of that, used his tango during the fight, and because of that, had enough HP for these continuous grenades flying at him. Oh, he did a bit of a misplay though. He bought even more raindrops here.
He's got double raindrops, yeah.
Yeah, don't think that's what you meant to do there. Could rather go for a Sage's Mask if that's what you want.
Yeah, for a second I thought he was holding the Storm's raindrops or something, but no, they're all his.
He's got his own. Big raindrop enjoyers.
There's something that Waleikum have to do is defend this bottom tier 1, it looks like, though. There's just a raw catapult. Seos joins it, blast down the tower. So tier 1's already gone as they start to make their move down here through the Twin Gate and TPing bottom. Maybe just trying to create a barrier in front of the Sven, protect him a little bit as Palantimos clears through a couple of large camps. This is where Timber really comes into his own.
There's some small things that are happening right now that are really like impactful. Like the fact that Kiritich was allowed to farm a creep wave under tower there on top lane is massive. Every single creep wave he can hold there is one more wave before that tower falls. And it's also insanely effective to farm lane and then go jungle again. So Kiritich, his farm is flying ahead now. 6k net worth, and they didn't do a good job shutting him down. Spamming some well played here. I think he's pretty happy.
Hey, super happy. Puck trying to farm through some neutral camps. Radiant have taken their foot off the gas a little bit here. Just trying to catch up to where VP are, and that's where this 4k lead really does start to emerge. The Alchemist inflation kicks in, but it's also due to this Storm and Timbersaw having pretty tremendous lanes off the back of that defense of the mid, where Storm survived, and now looking to guard the active runes at 10 minutes. It's an illusion that spawned down at bottom, and Chira Jr. with Bakshan and Doom arriving, trying to coil up and catch the Storm. They do get the Doom and the glimpse back on him. Bakshan survives and Storm dies. A lot of resources used up here in the mid lane to kill him, but it feels like Waleikum needed to do it.
Yeah, that was very necessary. Getting Storm kills, that's what I talked about during the draft, that Storm is going to be like the most important thing for him to shut down. But also this Alchemist, like right now he's receiving 0 pressure. And I'm a little bit concerned the fact that he's about to have an 11-minute Radiance if he just farms a little bit more here, and nobody is on the way to shut him down. On the other hand, Bakshan has prepared some really massive stacks. Like these are already gargantuan stacks, and he's going to go for another one. He wants to make them even bigger. Is this already a 6 stack? I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see if he can get the...
Good luck. Godspeed, my friend.
He doesn't get the 6 stack on the Ancients, but he does get the 6 stack on the big camp. So this needs to be cleared. They need to go there and take that farm, Sven.
I just imagine if the Alchemist comes across and gets it.
If
right
you
now,
lose
VP,
that, it's the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Timbersaw tanks it, Alchemist kills it. And maybe that's why VP angling towards this mid-tier 1 to open up the map for themselves. Chain over the top of the Puck. 4 heroes in this mid lane. And tier 1 tower going to take an absolute beating from the level 3 Nether Blast. The Techie's mines. The Glyph is up for the Radiant though.
Starts his job, but he only got 1 creep pulled at first. He needs to be cleaving.
Give me more targets. Let me splash my damage. Yeah, he'll get it done. Mask of Madness got strength. Clears through the Ancient stack. No contest yet. Now VP, they've pushed out that bottom lane. Still looking towards this mid lane, but Chira Jr. doing a great job clearing out the wave and kind of toying with Squad X Storm. Does find himself a haste rune now, though.
Meanwhile, Alchemist is just like, just forget about me. Just forget about me. I'm not getting my BKB right now. I said he was going to have 11-minute Radiance. We're 12 minutes now. He already has Ogre Club and 400 gold as well. Like, it's going fast. The Alchemist machine, you thought the Sven was farming fast there? During the time that we watched him, I think Alchemist farmed equal net worth without stacks, by the way. It's insane. He's rocking up some real hard GPM here.
He's massive. I mean, Sven, he's farmed a couple of grand from those ancients and large cam. He's cleared them all. A small ancient stack on the far left side of the map now as well. Oh my God.
Still 3k gold behind though, even after all those stacks.
Yeah. And now Alk starts to farm stacks. He heads to the right side. He's got all these ancients to clear out, a couple of individual stacks on them, and tucks himself in a deep pocket here. So, yeah, while they feel a couple of minutes behind in what they want to be doing, now bringing numbers top to try and pressure tier 1. But that point you made, right, with Alk clearing a wave or two here to delay the push, top tier 1 is really healthy still.
Yeah, maybe UALEIKUM, you know, in their efforts to shut down the storm early, have ended up kind of neglecting the pressure the Alchemist needs to receive as well. And that's usually the danger of having a hero like Alk and the Storm, right? You want to address both of them. Bottom, going in.
Yeah, coil on Storm, but Pugner's behind him.
We'll see that. As well.
Yeah, the efficacy of that life drain into the Storm Spirit, keep him topped up, has the haste to run around. And we just saw the odds there, 9-1. The Alchemist, Greevil's Greed in full effect. Swinging the odds super hard.
Everything is looking very nice right now for VP, I have to say. And yeah, Sven can grow to become a big carry as well. But how much can he deal with? Because yes, you have Alchemist being massive, and Storm with Pugna is also a threat. But then Timbersaw, you know, we don't talk about him too much, but he's also there. You're going to have to do something about him too. And you can only doom one hero this game. You can't doom all of them.
FNG. Sneaky fella. He's going to get off his taser in a couple of mines. Denied the DD rune, but still going to die. Chased out by 4 of the Radiant. Yeah, I think it's also a trend. I was looking at this before the series started. Average game time for both of these teams is significantly different. Now, while they come, okay, they've been losing the majority of their matches, but the average game time for them is around 34, 35 minutes, whereas VP is closer to 40. We've seen plenty more games go 50, 60 minutes for VP as they do enjoy going late game. So we might be seeing that little switch up here from while they could. Oh, they get a grab unnoticed. Lift stops the chain, and Shogarak gets the doom on him. Pugna nearby has a life drain, but Puck, you're right, but the Waning Rift will stop any kind of protection the Pugna wanted to try to give.
Good catch there, and they get something here. They get 2 nice kills. Obviously, the respawn is still pretty fast, though, so it's going to be hard to get too much value from this in terms of tower damage, but they're going to push out lanes. They go top and grab themselves their Wisdom Rune with Shogarat as well. Dire Wisdom Rune still there, but yeah, no invasion for that one. Pretty far away.
But yeah, it might be the case here that WALEIKUM have kind of cottoned on to the fact that VP like to go a little bit later. And you were talking about Sven, you know, in this matchup against Alchemist. If we do head later into the game when Sven gets 6 slotted, we're going to be winning the fights against the Alk. Doom has this Midas Devour, so he's going to be scaling pretty heavily too. If they can kind of weather that storm, right, the window of the Alchemist when he's really powerful, maybe they can drag it out long enough.
Yeah, maybe. The big thing for me is how well will the Pugna or the Puck be allowed to play the game. VP going.
Yeah, the Alk is ready. Radiant's BKB. 16 minutes in, he wants to fight.
Yeah, he's very much online. He knows he's the strongest player in the field right now. Gonna TP top though. Massive creep wave there. Double creep wave. Gonna go there and also try and pull into more. Wants to farm big camp. Doom currently farming it though.
Yeah, Doom, get away from my neutral camps.
Doom
FNG's gonna wander over.
1,300 gold to his BKB himself. That is a big timing for them to try and play around.
It sure is. But yeah, that point about the Puck with this Blink and Witchblade definitely offers a fair amount of damage and is always a nuisance in these fights. Control from VP, it isn't that significant against the Puck, it feels like. We've got Vortex and Blast Off. But Concoction can be dodged by the phase shift.
The control isn't that good against him, but Puck usually thrives on aggressive games that non-stop fight, and you can actually get some value from this hero being so mobile and having good lockdown. Right now, he's been involved in 3 kills in 17 minutes. It's not really what you want to have happen as a Puck. There's 6 kills to 4 kills. Very, very slow game. Very farm-focused. And that's where, at some point, he's not going to be able to kill heroes as easily as he wants. The Alchemist will be untouchable for him, and the Timbersaw will also become really tanky. Top.
Yeah, they're on the Doom. And Storm with a pretty long zip in gets even closer as the Blast Off connects, and 3 heroes converge onto the Doom's location. And Mary shows his face in that lane and realizes the Alk is just going to run up to you.
I gotta be careful. He has Blink BKB on the Alchemist. If he feels like it, he could go for a concoction, commit to kill you, and just TP out afterwards. So wisely runs away on the Rubik. But Alchemist back to the factory, you know? It's farming time.
Off into the mines.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, we're going to have this pretty massive timing for both teams. Multiple BKBs coming into play. Shira Jr. going to get zapped out of that mid lane by Noticed. Quick steal on the Chakram, but Squadix gets over the top of Mary, pops his Paris and dies immediately after to all that magic and pure damage.
And now we start seeing the Pugna Storm, you know, this is where they can enable their team so much. Even coming in with Alchemist here, pretty aggressive choice. Kirtik could have just been farming during this, but he joins as well to make sure they're strong enough to bully away all of UALEIKUM.
Yeah, they've got that deep ward that spotted the Sven. They saw Disruptor and Pug heading out into the lane and trying to close the map in around the Radiant for now. And get some more ward coverage into this Ancients area too.
Radiant have invested so much in de-warding and warding bottom part of the map, so now it's gonna be a little bit hard for them to take over the Ancients here as VP come and steal.
Yeah, they're going on to bottom instead, but Noticed walks out of the Static Storm, glimpsed back into it for a little while. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by this. Kaya Sanj, incredibly tanky.
Yeah, put himself in danger to Sven.
Yeah, the Sven does come forward with the Storm Hammer and the God Strength. They'll burst through Noticed. Nothing FNG could do there. Okay, it almost felt like he was trying to bait for the rest of his team to come in and nobody TP'd to help him.
I think Noticed was just a little bit too full of himself there. He was like, oh, they failed Static Storm. I can't die. And then he Timber Chains aggressively, and Palantimus for a second was like, wait, is this real? Is it too good to be true? But no, that was just a free Timber. Gonna get that kill. Meanwhile, though, top tower is being pressured by Alchemist, so cutting open the map a little bit there for VP, opening up the top part.
Man, he's going to have an Assault Cuirass in a couple of minutes, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be 6-slotted before we know it. Looks like a classic, like 22, 23 minute 6-slotting.
Yeah, I say a couple of minutes. He's going to have AC in like a minute, and then his next time to come after.
Pretty much.
What does he need after the AC anyway?
He could go for Abyssal, yeah. I think Abyssal is very good.
Blast off. Catches Puck. That's the signal for Squadix to go in. The phase shift is there, but the Puck's so low. Gets a little orb over the high ground, but doesn't jaunt fast enough. While Shogarat, BKB TP, the physical damage comes. Kiritich offers enough, and Noticed he's in on top of Bakshan, but no stuns from the Timbersaw. Allows the TP home, but that's 2 core kills, and traction on the map completely disappears. This slippery surface for UALEIKUM just really difficult to traverse now.
Yeah, old BKB would have lived there on Doom. New BKB, no magic resistance, or only magic resistance, 50%.
Yeah.
Pugna dealing a lot of damage into that with a blast and the drain there, securing the kill.
And 21 minutes in, that's Wisdom Rune, and maybe a Tormentor to be stolen.
Tormentor. They are coming over to contest.
Yeah, Sven got strength. Static Storm dropped on the Alk. That's a big move. The Radiance missed chance, and he gets off the BKB on Kiritich. Oh, a couple more hits, and the Alk will die. Concoction channeled up at the final swing of the sword. Sven flames his life. The rest of VP evacuating as Timber and Alk both die.
That was a big move by Chia Jr. jumping in and making sure to silence the Pugna so that Pugna doesn't keep healing up there and Sven can indeed finish the job. Also, shout out to the Orb of Destruction that Sven's carrying. It did a lot of carrying there. The 20% slow coming in and extra damage as well. Fantastic tier 2 neutral item.
Yeah, paid off big time. So what Techies did get the shard. The VP claimed the Tormentor in the end. And this is a pretty farmed position 5 Techies. He's got Pavis, Solar Crest, Arcane Boots, 700 gold saved. He's not far from the Puck's net worth.
I mean, that 1400 injection right there, he was already having a decent game with the towers they've taken, with, you know, map control that they've been enjoying. But yeah, the 1400 injection, now he's looking at coming into those mid-range core heroes here.
Yeah. On Triangle, being protected by 3 Radiant heroes, but they're still yet to de-ward the high ground observer. So VP knows where 4 of UALEIKUM are right now, and that gives Notice the complete free time to push out that bottom wave.
I think VP are going for both Tormentors as well. Alchemist already going for it, so this is speaking a little bit to what you were pointing out earlier, VP, they enjoy going later into the game. They enjoy longer games. And this is how you should be playing then, or this might be why they get longer games. They play towards these Tormentors. It's usually a tempo bump. When you go for Tormentors, you slow down the pressure you exert on the lanes, on the enemy towers, and you take a little bit of a step back to do it. Obviously, you get some net worth as well. You get the Shard now for Pugna, and you have Shard on Techies as well, so it's super nice. But it does slow down your overall speed of the game.
Smoke out from UALEIKUM. Going to be heading into a smoke from
Both
VP,
teams.
who are sat up on the high ground.
This
Who
is a
gets the
big
vision
moment.
advantage?
Coming through a tree line.
Cheer up. Smokes are breaking. Sayush, first one to get jumped on. The Storm tries to catch the pucks. Ooh, Squad X, BKB's up. Grabs up the Sven with a Vortex, and the damage comes so quickly. Sugarat, he's moved in aggressively as well, but he's going to get zipped on by Squad X. Kiritich charges forward. A couple more taps of his big axe, and he'll get the kill, while Mary trapped in the bag. Chakram slowed and killed. That, that ended as quickly as it started.
Yeah, Palantimos messed up. He walked up to the Storm, wanting to stun him. Storm had that BKB ready, waited for a while, got the BKB out, and then Sven didn't BKB in return, just tried to turn around and walk away, but Storm reached him for that little grab, and that means that you're 100% dead. Because Alchemist, he was just watching this entire time, channeling up his stun, and after Sven dies, the fight is over. So if Palantimos makes a mistake like that, then UALEIKUM cannot win the fight.
That's going to be ages for the Alchemist now as well. Basher queued up next. 20,000 net worth on the big man.
He is flying ahead for sure. And with that kill as well over on the Sven. Gonna secure themselves the game a little bit more. Actually, Sayo was the one getting the last hits here for 2 of those kills, so he speeds up and catches up to Techies in net worth as well. We were talking about how Techies was really farmed now. Pugna is just 100 gold behind him.
Yeah, nice bit of cash influx. Alchemist buys his own shard, so Berserk Potion now available with that. A basic Dispel, and maybe try and get off some of these slows. And pressuring tier 2 bottom lane as UALEIKUM in position here. 5 heroes rallying around Bekshan's Disruptor, who leads up with a glimpse in a field. I'm just trying to wait out this Chemical Rage, though. Don't really want to be fighting directly into it while it's up.
Stolen Berserk Potion. He can give that to Sven. Can be pretty big.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. Sven's got everything ready.
Yeah. I mean, it's 30 movement speed and 50 attack speed. It's really nice for Sven, actually. The HP regen, just a bonus, but Sven, by the way, did go for the Harpoon before Blink, so has the Harpoon, but doesn't have that super fast initiation. Obviously, that could also be why we see Storm just casually clicking that BKB there. Blink may have allowed him to just get on top of Storm before he BKBs and burst him, so definitely a downside to going for this build, but you have more stats with it, so it's always a, you know, you get something, you lose something else.
Berserk Potion put on him with the Mask Commander quickly clears through the triangle camps. Yeah, UALEIKUM, they were all set up there looking like they wanted to fight. Good discipline from VP not to go diving too deeply. Just take the tier 2, push the wave up onto the high ground as Storm Spirit. He's going to BKB.
Keep farming.
Keep farming.
He doesn't even care. Click the BKB, go farm a camp, jump away. He's like, I'm not dying here. This is fine. Coil is now on cooldown. His team calls in a smoke here. And, you know what? Techies is just pushing. So this is a 3-man rotation. Storm cannot join.
Yeah, they're going to find Chira Jr. here, potentially. Glimmer Cape Concoction, the puck, the orb. Over the top of the Alk. Does self-stun. Mary going to TP out of there as well.
And they clear out all of UALEIKUM at least. Have to give up the area. Meanwhile, Storm is just farming jungle, and they could meet up with Pugna and heal him up as well. If they need to. Right now, eyes set on that tier 2 tower top. I like the build here from Notice. He's going for a heart next is what he has queued up. It's just like, I just don't want to die on Timber. I don't need anything else, but he gets convinced he's going to go for a BKB instead. Probably the better choice.
Completely buys it. Fully purchased.
BKB on all 3 cores then for the side of VP. And it means that you really need to get those Blink initiations. They do have Blink finished up on Sven now.
It just feels like something drastic has to happen. You know, catching the back lines, getting rid of this Pugnatekis first. Puck has a lot of tasks to do to start these team fights off properly.
The fact right now that Storm is also ahead of the Sven is a big problem for UALEIKUM. Not only do you have the problem with this Alchemist being massive, but Storm also is finishing up a Hex pretty soon. He is 570 gold away from having the entire Hex. I think that will be a massive timing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's just such a huge... It's a team fight winning item. And turn someone into a little piggy. Get that numbers advantage. I mean, already, you know, we're thinking about buyback status here for the Radiant, as they're going to have to defend their base soon. Alchemist gunning towards tier 3s at this point. Puck Disruptor Rubik will have them.
Yeah, he has Aegis. He's just hitting here. He's like, what's going to happen? 40 seconds on my Aegis timer. Can they kill me? Can they stop me?
Oh, jump in. The glimpse Lotus Orb. Look, it was going to be interesting. Might have seen Bekshan get moved around. Tier 3 looking a bit worse for wear now. 600 health as the Puck starts the dance of death with VP jumping in and out. Try and force them away from this base.
Throws a little potion over on Tekis there. Give some HP as well. There's a 400 HP heal. You know, dispel your teammates. Get rid of that silence.
And meanwhile, the Storm, like you said, he's been farming up. Spent the past couple of minutes just clearing out that top line of camps. Gets the Hex delivered.
Hex complete
VP.
DT rune bottom as well.
Oh.
They passed the Alchemist the bottle, so he's gonna take it. This is without Aegis though. Ready. The only thing for their timing here is that they don't have Aegis, but this is still a great time to just go fight if you're VP. They have
Vindicator's axe on the Alk.
Ooh. That's great against Sven. Also against Doom.
A Doom, yeah, exactly, yeah. And get doomed up. Give me more damage. Storm. Ooh, where's the Puck? The Puck's gone in. Pretty deep. They get the Doom, the jump from the Sven on the Alk. Alk with the Chemical Rage up, though, now. Lotus Orb's on him, and they turn and fight. Palantimos, oh, he's going to die. The physical damage comes through his BKB. No buyback on the Sven, and the Doom got counter-doomed. Glimmer Cape is there to buy him a little bit of time, but the Dire Sentries and Observer Ward will see him walking through the forest. Notice just needs a little bit more damage, but doesn't get it. Allows the blink away. Vlad is in the trees, but cut down quickly by Noticed.
That Lotus Orb destroyed Doom. He just couldn't do anything after that. Dooming yourself and can't keep landing those Inferno Blades. Fight was really tough for them there. Let's see the recap quickly, but they're pushing Agron.
Yeah, they're on this tier 3 easily.
Now, without Sven, without Doom, you can only tickle them as Puck. This is also the problem that I was kind of worried about for Puck in this game. If the game continues long enough, you'll feel like you can't kill anything. Like, you can try and go and Pugna, maybe, but he has Glimmer Cape as well, so pretty hard to kill him.
And you're just tickling people, hoping they run away from you. Alchemist with this solar crest on him. He's destroying buildings right now. He's going to scout out the Invisible Rune with his courier down at that bottom spot and focus on hitting buildings. And Radiant have all respawned now. But it's still a long road to travel.
If they show, they're going to get hexed. That's the danger here.
Well, the Doom forces the BKB early out of the Alk. Kills off the catapult. Not sure if UALEIKUM really want to chase out the base for this, because they get scythed up by the Storm. They do grab the Alk with a stun and a bit of damage, but the Sven controlled up, and the Alchemist, evading all these hits, just turns around and kills Palantimos off. This looks like it's just over now. VP dominating. 31 minutes in and closing out game number 1 as they dive behind tier 4s to find another one.
Yeah, that should be game. I mean, they're going to call it here. And Alchemist, you can see his survivability. The Vindicator's axe paired up with the evasion, like you pointed out, makes it like Sven is not doing any damage despite having, you know, his ulti going and right-clicking away as he tries. That plus 20 armor, plus evasion, you're doing nothing. You're not bursting him like that. And I think a lot of this comes back to the fact that Alchemist was just not pressured at all a single time, I want to say, in the early game. They did move a few heroes to his lane in the early game, and then they just left again. They didn't try to take tower, they didn't chase him into jungle, they didn't block neutral camps, they didn't get a kill on him. They just kind of paid a visit and then left again. And Alchemist just ran away with the game. And if you look at the net worth after a game, looking at the player net worth, he has this nice graph that just doesn't touch any other player's graph all the way, keeps going and going. And yeah, stonks only go up, Gareth.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I was looking at that exact thing. I mean, actual net worth values as well. Alchemist closed in on 30,000, and that's double the Sven. You know, Sven's sitting around 15, 16. So, of course, you know, taking out buildings at the end, it does accelerate things even further. But almost flawless game from Kiritich, and VP set themselves up for success there. Squadix, the Storm Spirit, we were worried about this, going up against so many counters, but he played defensively, farmed his items up, knew that Seosh and FNG, having decent games from the side lanes, were able to protect him really nicely.
I think that UALEIKUM just got flustered by the amount of things to deal with in this game, and they ended up kind of flailing instead of going in and playing that aggressive style that I love from UALEIKUM. Usually we see them just run at the enemies, fight, do stuff nonstop, and maybe VP having that Pugna Storm deterred them from going into that type of play, because it is very hard to do it against Pugna Storm. He can nonstop get the resources back and just keep killing people. But if you don't do anything and if you play slowly, you're going to lose this game. You don't automatically win against an Alchemist late game just because he falls off at some point. He's going to have such a strong ramp up that you lose at like 30 minutes because his gear cap's around 25 minutes. So yeah, this game felt like UALEIKUM didn't really find a way into the game properly. And it needed to happen very early, that they just go and take fights, go in, invade the enemy jungle, like force this Alchemist to farm uncomfortable areas and get those kills on him. Maybe you're respecting the Pugna Storm too much, or you know, maybe it was correct to respect it that much, but then you need to ban it out in the next game because you can't get so hindered by one combo.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if they do adapt and change things up, and if they can return to that entertaining, aggressive style we've seen from them in previous games. This one, though, it was just systematic dismantling by VP, taking game one. Quick break, though. We'll return with game two right after this.